Home base for all things home related. Home decor, interior and exterior design, choosing rugs, picking out paint colors, organizing, and so much more. Let's jump in today's episode with Southern Inspirations partner Kelley Kolettis Designs. Home base for all things.
Well, hey there, everyone. Good afternoon from the technological challenged with Southern Inspirations and partner Kelley Kolettis Designs. Oh my goodness, Kelley, this has been a week of technological challenges. Let's just put it this way.
Well, thank goodness it's Friday.
Absolutely. So I see we have some people that have joined already, and I do apologize that we're a couple of minutes late, but we are here. That's the good news. I'm going to go ahead and turn my volume down a little bit more. I'm hearing such tremendous feedback today as well, Kelley. Are you hearing any kind of feedback?
Not really, no.
Okay, well, that's good. Maybe the folks watching aren't hearing the feedback. Maybe it's just me. Well, y'all, happy Friday. We are here to talk about refreshing your space. So if you need some inspiration in your home and updating and freshening things up just a little bit, Kelley's going to share 8 specific steps for you to create a space that you just love. And so we are going to dive into that, Kelley.
Yeah. The tips that I'm giving today will give you a really easy custom look on a budget. It will also help you refresh your space without a complete overhaul. So if you are sick of looking at your living room, this will give you a really easy plan of action to move forward in giving it a really nice refresh, and you don't have to gut the place and start from scratch. A lot of the tips I give today are it's just a larger part of the smaller parts that we talked about in previous episodes. So if anything seems a little confusing, a lot of people can go back to an episode that we talked about these items specifically. So this is kind of like the 9 weeks final of going over everything we've discussed so far.
I didn't realize that until you just said it. I'm like, oh, okay. I love it. Okay, are we ready for step 1?
Yeah, let's just jump right in. I always start with the rug. It's easier to move from the floor up. This is usually easy just because colors are easier to match. It's easier to find, start with the rug than having the paint color and trying to match things to it. Start with the rug, or if you have, a beautiful piece of art that you want that to be the whole inspiration of the room, that's kind of the scope of what this task is starting with a piece that has lots of different colors in it and moving from there. But for the sake of this, I would say start with the rug just to keep it easy. Find a rug that's really easy to keep clean. We all live in our houses these days, some a little more than others. So find something that's really easy to keep clean. Even though those beautiful like faux fur shag rugs are really cool to look at, they are very difficult to keep clean because it's hard to vacuum them. So if it's a place that gets a lot of traffic, maybe keep that in mind on how much you're going to be using it and cleaning it. This is a really good way to play with patterns within the rug. You can get very traditional or very contemporary. There are lots of different styles, different price points. You can shop online, in store. And this makes it really easy to move forward with your whole plan. So I have a formula that you kind of follow as you go through the room. When you've got a rug with multiple colors in it, try to find one color in it to match to the curtains and the pillows. You'll also move forward matching it with a couple of other colors that we'll get to later, but that just gives you a really good starting point to go with. So find a rug that you really, really like, and then we'll move on to step 2. Step 2 is the paint. Like I said, it's really hard to have a paint color and try to match things to it. It's easier to have a thing and then match the paint to it. If you're trying to go with all new paint colors, a neutral color does make the space feel bigger, but bold colors can be fun. So don't get scared of going with a really fun color. Maybe don't do navy blue through the entire house in every single room, but you can still find a really cool color to give you that, boldness in your room. Wallpaper is also coming back, so don't be scared to go with a print. If you don't want to commit to a whole style of prints, whether it be geometric or floral or stripes or whatever, they have lots of wallpapers that are just a texture. The grass cloth has come back in style. So that gives you a solid color, but it still gives you a unique look because you still get that textured feel of it. So sticking with the paint after the rug makes a huge difference.
Hey, Kelly, speaking of the wallpaper, it blows my mind that it's coming back. I guess everything kind of does that. You see that with clothing as well as home decor. And so when we built our house, I almost did grass cloth in our guest bathroom. And I ultimately decided against it, but you never know. I may end up, I really like it. So when you said that, I'm like, it brought back that. So yeah, it really does just blow. And by the way, everyone watching, I've mentioned this on our last live broadcast together. That is not wallpaper back behind her. It looks like a really cool wallpaper and it gives off the same effect, but I don't want to get us sidetracked. She hand did that, her and her husband. So anyway, I digress on the wallpaper conversation. Oh my goodness. I don't even think, oh wow. Did we get to see all the way last time?
I guess not.
That is so super cool. I love it. Okay. Anyway, back to, we ready for step 3?
Yeah, let's move on to step 3.
All right.
Once you've got your rug and your paint chosen, this is where you can change your lighting. If it feels too dark in your room, I like to layer the lights. That makes it feel more warm and inviting, makes it feel cozy, makes guests feel more welcome in the home because it doesn't feel like they're walking into a cave, but it also doesn't feel like they're walking into a hospital operating room. So you can change out your light fixtures, whether it be a new light fixture that has a couple more lights on it, or you can put in some can lights if you want to go directly into the ceiling. You can still have a chandelier or a fan with lights on it. The can lights can be put on dimmers and it just adds, a little bit of extra illumination. Lamps are always a really great accessory to work with, along with having a task light. So if you like to sit on the corner of your sofa and, read the newspaper, or that's just your favorite spot to sit, having a lamp there is always helpful if you're, binge watching Netflix throughout the day and it gets dark outside and you don't want to get up and turn the lights on. You can just lean on over and get the lamp. So having lots of different types of lighting in the room is always helpful. You don't have to have them all on at the same time, but depending on, the mood you want to set, or if you've got friends over, or if you're just watching movies, having different types of lights make a huge difference in the space. It can make it feel a lot bigger and make it feel a lot warmer.
I love lamps.
I love lamps.
And especially this week in Arkansas, it's been so rainy and a lot of the mornings really, really dark. And so it feels dark in the house. Now, every day I go through and I make sure that I have natural light, opening my shutters and my blinds and whatnot. But there's just this warm, homey feeling that I get from my lamps. My husband, not so much. Like, he would just assume it always be dark. I don't know what it is, guy versus girl thing or what, but I love lamps. I love the different shapes and sizes, and I just feel like you can do so much with them. So, yeah.
And they come in so many sizes. I mean, you can get the giant ones that stand on the floor and like lean over a whole dining table, or you can get like the little tiny ones that go like inside built-ins. There are so many options for lamps. So I'm a strong believer of more lamps.
Well, I've got to get out this afternoon and pick up a couple of items that I had pre-ordered that are not lamps, but I might come home with another lamp. All right, let's move on to our 4th tip.
All right, our 4th tip is the furniture. A lot of people try to start with the furniture, and that makes it a little difficult. But you can always get new furniture. One of my favorite projects is rearranging what you've already got. It's a huge budget saver. You like the furniture enough that you bought it in the first place. So why not get the best use of it? If you feel like your furniture is just a little lifeless, I guess is the word, just putting it in a new space gives it new life. I mean, you can put furniture from other rooms and bring it in, take furniture from the living room and put it elsewhere. Have a new floor plan, even if you want to rearrange it completely and make the room have a different type of function. I always strongly recommend that it is practical before beautiful. Make sure that your layout makes sense. You don't want to have a sofa in the complete middle of the room and it completely blocks traffic. But also bringing furniture away from the wall does make the room feel bigger. So there are lots of different ways that you can rearrange a room. I've got programs on my computer that I can do it for you, or I can just show up and help you move furniture around, just whatever is easiest. And giving old pieces new life is one of my favorite things in a project, whether that be taking a side table from the living room and maybe using it as a nightstand in a guest room or something, or even using some sort of console or media stand as a new entry table or buffet table. There are tons of ways to reuse furniture. And if you feel like you need to declutter a little bit, maybe just get some furniture out of the way, you can always store it in the garage for a bit. Even if maybe your garage needs to be completely organized before you do that, in which case I would strongly suggest using Paige with Shepherd Organizing to get your garage in order.
That's right, Paige, if you're watching, don't freak out because Kelley said store furniture in the garage. We only mean temporarily. So speaking of that, Kelley, I do want to share the promotion that Paige and I did to promote Tip Tuesday. For those of you watching, if you have not tuned in for Tip Tuesday yet, Paige and I do this very same thing every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Central, where she shares a tip about organizing or productivity. And this week's tip was about garage organization. And Kelley, I don't know if you were able to catch it, watch the replay, but there's one picture. Well, she had two pictures of a, pre-organized garage that we shared, and one of them was horrible. I'm like, I hope that's not real. And she was like, no, for the record, that was not any of my clients' garages, because it had like cobwebs. I mean, you could tell it had not been touched for years, right? And I was like, that picture makes me kind of sick. I don't even know if I want to look at it. But y'all, I want to pop up this promotional spot that Paige and I did together. We're going to run that. It's 30 seconds or so. And then we will come back and Kelley's going to give you those final 4 steps for refreshing your space. So bear with me while I set us up real quick. Let's see here. Hey y'all, I'm Michelle Hill with Southern Inspirations.
And I'm Paige Shepherd with Shepherd Organizing Solutions.
And we would like to invite you to watch Tip Tuesday every Tuesday at 11 o'clock a.m. Central Time.
We'll share space organizing and productivity tips.
You can find us on Facebook or YouTube every week.
We'll see you next Tuesday.
All right. Go. That was a lot of buttons to push to try to get all that done. But Paige and I have so much fun every Tuesday, as Kelley and I do on here live every other Friday, sharing things for you to help make your homes just places that feel warm and fuzzy and welcoming and all those things that you need it to feel, to your point, Kelley, particularly for some folks who have found themselves at home more than they used to be during these, the pandemic. So y'all be sure and tune in for Tip Tuesday to hear great tips from Paige. All right. Are we ready for our final 4 steps?
Yes. So at this point, we have brought in a new rug. We've got new paint, new lighting, new furniture, or old furniture brought in. So next we will start with the pillows, which is the accessories of the sofa. This is a great way to mix your textures and prints. They can be coordinated with the rug, coordinated with the curtains, coordinated with the paint. There are lots of different ways to style your sofa. I think that's what we talked about just last week. So I really like to mix textures and prints. Try to match at least one pillow to the curtains to tie those together, and then match one or two pillows to the rug, whether it be the same colors, the same print, just one of the colors. Just try to coordinate that together. And then you can match one pillow to your accents, whether that be an ottoman or an accent chair that's off to the side. It just helps tie in all of those different colors that you've got going on in the room, but it makes it look more intentional. So it doesn't look like a whole bunch of random things thrown on the sofa. It actually makes sense and makes the room feel a lot more inviting and cozy once you've got all of those pillows. You know, you can make your nest while you watch TV, or if you've got friends coming over to hang out. Like I said, everyone is home more these days. So home has been serving the purpose of where you actually live, where you work, where you socialize. So you might as well love where you live, at least make it comfortable. Moving on from the pillows, I would probably go with the curtains, which brings us to step 6. We talked about in a previous episode to make your room feel taller, to hang them from floor to ceiling. So get your curtain rod as close to the ceiling as you can, and then have curtains hang all the way down. In an average home, floor to ceiling are the 95, 96-inch curtain length. If you have higher ceilings, you may have to get a little taller to the 108. Anything taller than that, you may have to go custom, but there are lots of places here in town that do custom curtains, along with places online if you're trying to do it on a very low budget project. Try to match the curtains to at least one pillow and at least one color in the rug. Like I said, it just brings the whole design together. You get that full custom look, like it was very purposeful, put together, but you did it yourself, so no one has to know. Moving on from curtains, that brings us to art, which is one of my favorite things in the project. You can really mix your mediums here. When I'm doing a room from, scratch, I try to use lots of different mediums in art, and the medium is the type of material that is used to make the art. So in one room, I try not to have all frames or all canvases. I try to do a mix of different things. So in some of the art may be a couple of smaller pieces that are framed watercolors, while on a canvas it's an oil painting. I may have some that are floral, some that are landscape, some that are geometric or a little abstract. Having different types of art, again, makes it feel more curated, like a museum. You don't want it to look like you shopped one aisle at Target and got all the same art from all the same thing and it looks all exactly the same. You want it to look like you spent lots of time and effort creating this look. So with that art, you want to try and match at least one color in the art to the wall paint. This doesn't necessarily have to be true for every single piece, but at least your larger pieces. So again, it looks like it's more purposeful and put together. If you have a whole bunch of small pieces, maybe cluster them together and create a gallery wall. I believe we've discussed that on a couple of my blog posts on my website, how to hang a gallery wall. It's one of my favorite ways to display art that represents the people that live there. If you travel a lot, I like to have a wall of different travel art. If you are into music, I like to have different, music themed art, thrown in there. There are lots of different ways to display your art, and I'm happy to help if you've got a lot and you feel overwhelmed. Like I said, my favorite projects involve the art. So when I come to refresh people's homes and do the one-day home makeover, one of the first things I do is take all of the art off the walls, because hanging it somewhere new gives the place a whole new life. It gives the art new life. It makes the room completely different, just changing the art. So that's one of my favorite parts of the design process, is choosing the art.
I can always tell, because when I watch the different things that you post, where the befores and the afters, that's one of the first things that my eyes are drawn to, because I want to know, what has she done with this space? What piece of art has she picked? So I have a question, and forgive me if I was distracted and missed you saying this just a minute ago, but as far as height, so is it, because I've heard different things over the years, and so you want it to be eye level, but the thing about it is eye level, like the center of it eye level, because 5'4" over here is a different eye level from 6'4". So if you have, and I'm talking about like mainly if you have just one main piece that you want to put on a wall, say over a sofa table or, console table, I guess, whatever. What's the best practice for the level?
You're right about the eye level. If there is nothing else on the wall and it is just going to be art, there's no furniture below it, I like to hang the larger pieces at a little above eye level for me because I'm not a very tall person, but usually there are taller people in the home that I'm decorating. So I hang from the center of the piece that is just a little above eye level for me. If there's
Gotcha.
furniture under it, like if you're going to hang a big canvas over a sofa or you've got a big frame to go over your entry table, I try to hang those about so that the bottom is about 5 or 6 inches above the piece. So if you've got the console, then the art starts 5 or 6 inches above that.
Gotcha.
That usually just gives it a more grounded look because sometimes hanging the art too far above it makes it feel too disconnected that it's not as pleasing to the eyes. So I'm sure there is a science to it, but for me, just hanging art, that's how I've always done it, is I hang it, if it's a large piece, I hang it a little above eye level for me. And if it's above something else, 5 or 6 inches is the gap that I usually leave.
Gotcha. I think the thing that you've done that I like the most are those plates that you hung on the wall. And I believe it's your guest bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love those. And I have got to figure, I'm like, I keep meaning to ask you, what do you put on the back of them to get them to even stay up there? So we'll have to talk about that later because I may want to do that in my bedroom. I just love that idea. All right, I guess we better get to the final step 8 here. Here we go.
Yes, so hanging the art brings new life, but having actual life in the room definitely enlivens your room. So adding plants makes the room feel more complete. It's an accessory that just keeps on living. So you can use a real plant if you feel confident in doing that, or you can use faux plants if you just don't quite have the green thumb to keep it alive. Both are fine. I strongly suggest that you keep the leaves clean. Even when it's a real plant, you still have to dust it and clean the leaves. So when it's fake, real, whatever, clean the leaves, whether it's something that you do every year for spring cleaning or just something that you keep on the list to do every so often. Having the clean leaves makes it feel more real and it makes the room feel real. You don't want to look at, a fake ficus tree and it's just covered in cobwebs and dust because that's just something you'd want to throw away. So make sure that you keep it clean. If you've got an empty corner and you don't necessarily want to fill it with just more stuff, whether it be, another chair that you don't necessarily need, or you don't want to put, just a lamp because you don't need any more lighting, adding one tall plant can make the room feel taller and it can really brighten up an empty corner. I strongly suggest having at least one plant in every single room. Again, real, fake, doesn't matter. Having that one plant makes a huge difference in just the life of the room, it literally and figuratively, because plants, give you more oxygen. So the more plants you've got in the room, it just cleans your air. So it just makes sense. There are lots of places in town that you can shop for plants that make it really easy. They have the little tags that say, for indoor, outdoor, mostly shade. People are surprised at how many plants don't require a lot of water. So there are lots of different options for people that feel like they can't take care of a plant. There are lots of really easy options to work with, but I strongly suggest having at least one plant in every room.
So Kelley mentioned earlier that I've got to get out this afternoon and go pick up some items that I had ordered. It's 3 plants.
Yay!
3 faux plants, because I realized a few weeks ago when the professional photography group came to do my photo shoot for my new website, we needed a plant for one of the shots. I had 0 in this house. 0. I know. And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm I'm not an interior professional decorator like Kelley, but like I feel like I decorate pretty good, and I have 0 plants in here. I had like faux sunflowers. I had 2 different pots because I love sunflowers. I had one in the kitchen and then one in my hearth room, and so we ended up using that. So in my office shot, there's a little sunflower, but you see now what you see. I have 2 in my office area, one on that, and then so I'm picking up three faux plants this afternoon.
Good for you.
I know I need to get brave enough to buy a live one to go inside. So maybe that'll be, baby steps here. Wow. As always, you have given us some wonderful tips. I love that this was just kind of the all-inclusive, that's got all the different things that we need to do to refresh a space. So anything else that you want to share today?
Really, after following all of those steps, if you've got any accessories that you need to edit, I strongly suggest picking your favorite pieces and putting them in the space first. Most people these days are trying to declutter, so it's a huge bonus if you've got lots of things left over that you don't necessarily need in the space. So just picking a few favorite things to pop in different places can make the space feel like home, and it represents you and your family, and just having a few accessories thrown in that are really helpful. But don't feel like you have to put everything back in.
Yeah.
So we can pull that overview. We can pull that overview back up and go through them real quick.
Oh yeah. Uh-oh. I don't know if did I load that? Kelley, I don't think I loaded the overview.
Okay.
Then
real quick,
you'll tell us, I'll type it in.
Yeah, so the steps going through just to refresh your space real quick without a complete overhaul is starting with the rug, then going to paint, then changing your lighting, getting new furniture or rearranging your old furniture, adding in your pillows, adding the curtains, putting some art back up on the walls, adding a few plants in, and you are good to go.
All right, hold on just a second. I apologize that I forgot that one. Art and plants. Let me show it real quick. Tell me if I got it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All righty, pop that up real quick. And y'all, you can always go back and catch the replay. And what I could do, Kelley, is I can post, or you can, either one of us can post that recap slide too, just to make it handy, because that was my bad that I didn't get that loaded. I apologize for that. As always, everyone, I want to remind you that Kelley is available for consultations, either virtually or in person, depending on your level of comfort, what your needs are. Her website is there at the bottom, so be sure and reach out if you want to have a conversation with her. As you can tell from this episode, and hopefully the others that you've watched, she knows her stuff, and I know that she would love to work with you and help you with any project, regardless of how small or how large your time, your budget, or your space is. Mm-hmm. So with that, thank you to everyone for tuning in and for supporting us for Design Time episodes. We invite you to share this with your network of friends and family across social media. And we'll be back weeks with a live. We provide content every single Friday, but we'll see you back in a couple of weeks with a live. Everybody have a safe and healthy Labor Day weekend, and we'll see you. I know, long, good weekend. See y'all later. Bye-bye.
Bye.